Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Film Club Podcast, where the movie couple sits around and talks about movies. I'm Dean.
I'm Boo.
And we're talking about movies. And what movie are we talking about this week?
Today we're talking about Godzilla 98.
Yes, but something seems different about this episode.
I don't think we're alone.
Oh, I don't think we are. Oh, we have guests this week.
We do. Hey, guys.
Oh, hello. Hi.
What's going on?
This is the first episode we have done that actually has a guest. Guests, plural. There's more than one. We have Reggie, who is a connoisseur of films. He works at a movie theater. He writes about films. I've seen this man head kick a critic before. It was amazing.
Impressive.
Yes, Reggie, why don't you introduce yourself? Say hello to the people.
Hi, hello. I'm Reggie. Nice to meet you all. Yeah, nice to be here.
And then we have Greg, best friend for years. Know way too much about this guy, but he's also really cool. Greg, how you doing?
I'm doing good, and you guys?
We're good.
Good.
You forgot to mention the light of your life,
My life partner, you know.
the wind beneath your wings.
We're gonna dance to that at our wedding.
We agreed not to talk about this?
But yes.
We signed no contract today.
But the reason we brought you guys in today is because we are talking about a movie that you two seem to be experts on. I guess for the people who can't see you, you are wearing Godzilla t-shirts.
Yeah.
One of you brought your Godzilla hat, fully repping the gear.
Of course, gotta represent.
So, what Godzilla movie are we talking about this week, Boo?
Like earlier, I said we were talking about Godzilla 1998.
I assume you guys enjoy the film, you really internalize it. Maybe it's your favorite Godzilla film.
So, well, it's an interesting one, that's for sure.
It's a movie?
Is it Kino?
Yes,
Ugh.
puro kino.
Beautiful Kino.
It's just Keen.
It's
Keen, yeah.
No, oh,
That's
not
good.
even Kino.
But yeah, I guess before we get into the movie proper, because me and Becky, we're not Godzilla people. I've watched the first one and
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and the 2014 one. Yeah, me and Greg went to go see the first one at the Frida.
Thanks for the invite.
I didn't know.
I was there too,
Yeah.
thanks.
Sorry.
But yeah, but we're not Godzilla people, and we wanted to talk about this Godzilla movie because I don't know anything about this movie. Why does this movie exist? But I want to know, when was the first time you guys ever saw the movie? We'll start with Mr. Reggie over here, since you are sitting across from me, so it's easier.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, well, I'm like somebody who's always loved Godzilla, who loved it as a kid or whatever. I saw this movie in theaters, and I was so... Are we allowed to swear in here?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Absolutely,
Okay, excellent.
yes.
I was so fucking pumped for this movie or whatever. Yeah, and
You're not a family podcast.
Yeah. Oh, good. That's how we roll. So yeah. Well, so dragged my family to it or whatever. Couple friends or whatever. Yeah, we were all excited. We watched the movie, and then I was just like, oh, yeah, that happened. You know, like I mean, I guess I liked. As a kid, you're not a film critic. You don't know what's all going. You can't really
Giant
articulate your
monster
feelings.
on screen. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, it's a movie, and I watched it, So, yeah.
I like that. Even as a child, you're like, do I have to like this? Is this a Phantom Menace situation? Do I have to like this? What about you, Greg? When was your first time you saw the movie?
I think I saw it once and went straight to VHS. Yes, we're that old.
Oh, God, yes.
Yes, we are.
I had a couple of the toys and even a puppet at the time.
Oh, the hand one?
No, it was like a full-size Godzilla puppet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that if you hit a button inside the mouth, it made the roar.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, and yeah, as a kid, I used to watch it a lot, and then I stopped.
Just the sudden. I loved it, and then I fell out of love with it. Those were the
Yeah.
dark days.
Well, once I got older.
Once taste set in.
Yes, definitely.
What about you, Miss Boo? When was the first time you saw the movie?
Like Reggie, I saw it in the theater and was excited because I love Jurassic Park. I love monsters. I was telling Greg earlier that I actually grew up with my uncle's original Godzilla toys, so I never really watched the movies, but I appreciated the design of the character. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's go watch Godzilla, and saw it in the theater. And I was like, wow, this is a long movie, and wow, can this please stop? This is not a good movie.
Yeah. I'm in the Greg canon of this one. It was a VHS movie. I probably watched the movie a bunch as a kid, but I could not tell you anything about it because I remembered so little about this movie.
Mhm.
All you knew was giant monster. That was it.
I remembered the Taco Bell ad for this more than the
That's
actual
right.
movie.
I forgot about those.
Everybody
as well.
remembers that.
Or the commercial where it's the Godzilla smashes down the T-Rex skeleton and everybody's like, guys, this is gonna be bigger than fucking Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah.
And then it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was not. Oh Lord, it was not.
Mhm.
But I guess we'll get into. We'll tell people what the movie's basically about. I got the back of the box synopsis. I copied it directly from a VHS
Ooh, wow.
and
Oh.
not IMDb. I
Wow.
swear.
Where
Wow,
did you
not even
find
a
that?
box with you today.
I know.
Yeah, totally. I got it right here, people. So the basic plot synopsis of the movie is: in the wake of extensive nuclear testing in the South Pacific Ocean, the low-profile scientist Nico Tatopoulos, Tatopoulos,
I think he's
Tatopolis.
Tatopolis. Right?
Tatopoulos.
Yeah.
God damn it! I'm just like the people in the movie can't pronounce his fucking name.
It's like you try to say a hippopotamus and just keep missing it.
Why is that a running joke in this movie? By the way, why did they explicitly name him something that only weirdos would remember how to pronounce?
Hey, wait a minute.
Quiet, Greg. Quiet, weirdo. But Nico Topopopoulos
Nico.
Nick is summoned by the U.S. Army to shed light on the mysterious attacks on a fishing ship and the ominous sightings of a gargantuan sea dragon. Before long, a mutated scaly nightmare in the shape of Godzilla. Gojira?
Gojira.
Gojira. A massive and all-powerful radioactive creature threatens to level the rain-soaked New York City against the backdrop of a crippling bureaucracy and the military's futile attempts to stop the invincible beast from the ocean. Also, rain-soaked city does not describe half of how much rain is in this movie.
No, it is.
From minute 1 to minute 2 hours 18, it is drenched throughout this entire movie. But now it is up to Nico and his cryptic insurance agent Felipe, the determined reporter Audrey, and her brave cameraman Victor, the animal, to put an end to Godzilla's reign of terror before it's too late. And that's the back of the box of this movie.
That's
But
a big box.
Yeah,
It is a
I
big box.
know.
it's a big box.
Damn.
You know, the IMDb VHS is a very big VHS.
Yeah, it's true.
But I kind of want to know, like, what were you guys' thoughts going into the movie? Since I assume you guys haven't seen it in a long time, what was the first thing that jumped out at you once the movie started?
Well, pre-gaming before this about this, and I remember because as a kid, you're just like, whoa, wow, Godzilla, wow, look at him destroy that truck or whatever, bite that truck or whatever. Wow, it looks so incredible. And then as an adult, I'm just like, oh, yep. That's 90s CGI. This was definitely made in the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh,
And hence the rain. Hence, it's like the rain is to cover up how bad the CGI
Yes.
is. They did that in the new Godzilla movies too. You know, yeah. People are like, oh, so you don't notice how bad the CGI is or whatever.
I don't think it helped. I
No. It
did
swear,
not.
when you see Godzilla walking through the streets of New York and it's raining, I'm like, I can tell there's no water landing on that thing. That thing is
Yeah.
not in the same universe as this rain.
Like you can clearly tell he is
Yeah.
dry as a bone.
hmm
Ugh.
Oh man.
He has a force field around him that's
Yeah.
protecting him.
Bruh, he might as well also have instant transmission because he disappears through
Oh, good.
the city of New York like
Oh, yeah.
3 times.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you lose Godzilla?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they even do a stupid joke? Like, oh, how do you lose something that big? Or I was like, yeah, movie. How do you? I was like,
Exactly.
Like explain.
Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
please.
exactly.
I think the
You don't-
biggest one is when they're chasing him with the helicopters, and it's just like,
right.
okay, we turned this corner because we just saw the tip of his tail, and there's a hole in the building all of a sudden.
Yeah,
How do you know?
exactly. You would notice a giant hole in a building or whatever,
Yeah,
and like,
or at least
yeah.
you would have heard the crunching of him going
yeah,
through it.
exactly. Like,
And then it's like, okay, open fire, and they fire, and it's just like the bullets are going forward, but the explosions are happening down below. Like,
Oh, I noticed that.
yeah,
There's some weird things going on with some of the CGI and the explosion effects in this movie because you can tell a lot of this is weird compositing. But my favorite is when you see Godzilla jump into the water, that big old swan
yeah.
dive. It's like,
Oh.
oh, it's so cool. And then he jumps in. I'm like, that splash. there's no like thing, like there's no like Godzilla's not entering the water, it's just splashing around him, and then you can see the digital model just shave off as it hits the water.
Yeah.
This CGI was sketchy at best.
Yeah.
But going back to that instant transmission, the last helicopter being chased, and it's all of a sudden Godzilla's underneath it. Like, how did he get there that quick?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, did he dig through a
Yeah.
building or whatever? And nobody like there was just he's so
No.
stealthy. You don't hear a giant iguana
Yeah.
dig through a building, a
Well,
multi-level skyscraper.
I paused it and I was looking. There's no hole or anything. He's just like,
Yeah, you're right.
crouch, and then
Yeah,
he just
yeah.
goes up. I'm like, how?
Look, I've been trying to figure this out because I actually did my due diligence. I watched this movie 2 times.
Oh wow, that's
I
impressive.
was dedicated to this podcast. I watched
Dedication,
it
or is
2
this
times.
secretly your favorite Godzilla movie?
For the longest time, it was the only Godzilla movie I ever saw, so by default. But because you mentioned giant iguana, and like the opening credits are
Mhm.
explaining, gentlemen, because of nuclear testing, we have created Godzilla, and it's a mutated iguana, and I'm like, how? Okay, how is it that we get a mutated iguana? Because I don't know the origins of Godzilla. And I guess this will get into like the overarching thing of the podcast is how is this an utter betrayal of Godzilla?
Yeah.
So the origins of Godzilla, like how does Godzilla come to be? Is he a mutated iguana? Is he a mutated Komodo dragon?
Well, first of all, I do want to touch on that intro because I will say I actually thought this last time I watched it. That intro was like one of the few like, okay, I fuck with this. This is a great scene. You know, this
Yeah.
is great. Totally at odds with the rest of the movie, what follows or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's great. You know, they even did a similar intro for the 2014 Godzilla. You know, I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this is what they were doing. It was so clearly it was that effective. You know, but about the origins of Godzilla as a mutated iguana here or whatever. I honestly don't know. Like, I haven't read up like why a mutated iguana. I can only imagine it's like, well, it's supposed to be more realistic because dinosaurs died off, you know, so they wouldn't be awakened by nuclear testing. So maybe an iguana gets mutated into a giant monster or whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I guess that's slightly more realistic because at least iguanas are still around. But I mean, if you're gonna have a giant monster around, why not just go the whole hog and have a dinosaur? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
Godzilla, exactly.
hidden dinosaur somewhere.
Right? Yeah, like the original.
Oh, that was the original. He was a
Yeah.
hidden dinosaur.
Yeah.
Well,
so-
he was-
oh, go ahead. Sorry about
well,
that.
oh no, my bad about that.
Oh, it's all good.
In the original movie, he was already there beforehand, and then went to sleep, and then got waken up from the nuclear testing. That was the original start.
And the bonkers thing is, he doesn't look like an iguana. He looks like a T-Rex. So why not make him a T-Rex?
Boo, you made a point. What exactly did this Godzilla look like to you?
A xenomorph.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
does.
Like the legs.
You're
and the
right,
arms.
yeah.
That's what I was watching him,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, you look kind of familiar, and I was like, alien? I was like, what is happening
Yeah.
here?
Do you pull up like a picture while you're watching the movie and just try and like overlap it or something?
With dramatic music, and I was just like, oh my god, they're the same thing.
Corporate wants you
Yeah.
to find the difference between these two
Oh my-
pictures. They're the same picture.
Oh my god, yeah. No, dude, I'm thinking about it. I get some serious HR Giger vibes from TriStarzilla now. You know, just like even the spines and stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
It's like-
he's always changing in the movie. He never
Yeah.
looks the same way, and it's
Right.
just like, you want Godzilla to be your hero of the
Mm-hmm.
movie, and it's just like, why would you change up his features every time we see him?
Yeah, and he has the babies too.
And the babies.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the babies were weird because I know it's a thing, like they were trying to sequel bait, right?
Right.
But it's like, what? Why is it the whole like last 45 minutes dedicated to Baby's Day Out with Godzilla movies? Like, what is up with this?
I don't know.
That had to have been a Jurassic Park thing. They're trying to do the raptors or whatever. You
Mhm.
know,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
that's just
The movement when they're jumping onto
Oh,
the
yeah.
Frenchmen.
People.
I was like, that's a total raptor
exactly.
move.
Yeah.
It's also the only part that they took any inspiration from Jurassic Park and used real puppets for the close-ups.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh man. Okay, because I actually have a little thing about the creature design here.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
I did research.
You did?
Dean
not
has
a
a whole
lot.
dossier today.
Yes,
Ooh,
it's
let me
it's
see
a
that.
it's a half page on my Google Docs. All right. Because at first they wanted to use like motion capture, like they wanted to get a guy in a suit and mocap him for the movie, right? So his movements would look okay,
Yeah.
but then they were like, well, we'd have to find a suit that would fit over the guy to make him look like a monster. And then they were like, nah, that looks too goofy. He looks like some dude in a rubber suit. We don't want to do that. We don't want to disrespect Godzilla by putting him in a rubber suit.
Oh my god.
So,
Oh, man.
so then they
If only
decided.
they knew.
Mhm.
If only they knew. So they decided we'll just CGI the entire thing. We'll go get a this guy Topopopolis. That
Nico?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Snuffleupagus.
Snuffleupagus. Yes. The character,
Snuffleupagus?
the creature designer Snuffleupagus was like, I'll design it to look like this, and they sent it over to Toho, and Toho was like, what the fuck is this? And then they were like, I mean, whatever, fuck it, you do you. And
Right.
then they gave him this Godzilla, but it astounds me that the filmmakers looked at it and was like, nah. We need this to be as far away from a man in a suit as possible. So as far away from Godzilla as possible.
Yeah.
That just sounds like somebody who doesn't respect the source material, you know, just has no history, no appreciation, doesn't understand what makes it, what makes people love it, you know? So just like, I had to find the interviews or whatever. But like, I remember supposedly Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich, the directors, they were doing promotion for the film, and then at some point they're like, yeah, you know what, we never really liked monster movies or whatever. We thought they were kind of dumb, you know, like the monsters meet and fight or whatever. Like, that's stupid, you know. Why? Who wants to watch that, you know? So we wanted to do something different, you know, and they did. In a way, they succeeded. They did something different, but whether people liked it is an entirely different thing.
And that's the thing that astounds me. Okay, because Roland Emmerich, Dean Devlin, they're like the guys who did all the stuff that made the movie come to life, right? Roland Emmerich directed it, Dean Devlin produced it. And these guys before this had made like Universal Soldier in 92, Stargate in 94, and Independence Day in 96. Are they good? Are they good filmmakers? All right, because I don't know if Roland Emmerich's a good filmmaker or if he's really good at spectacle. Because that's what a lot of like Independence Day is spectacle.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's not like human storytelling or anything like this. And this movie lacks human storytelling.
Or is he a good listener? Because Spielberg told him, do not make this movie. And then he goes and makes this movie, and then we have this. So
Could you imagine Spielberg hot off of making Jurassic Park, and he's just releasing Saving Private Ryan, establishing himself as the king of fucking like
Movies.
Hollywood and movies. Is like, bruh, you don't want to do Godzilla. That's a bad idea, brother.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Spielberg because, yeah, like a Spielberg Godzilla movie, I would be there. First off, I would be there for that. I would so be there for that.
Yeah, that would be
And
really interesting.
but it reminds me just of, again, just drives home how hard these people were trying to do Jurassic Park. Even like the score, there are moments when Godzilla comes, he goes to eat the fish or whatever, and they're just like
when
stare.
he's just walking.
That's
through
a lot of fish.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Goddamn
That's a
game.
lot of fish, you know. They're just staring at him like, whoa, he's so majestic. Like the scores, like trying to get all soaring, all John
like
Williams
when we
or whatever.
first see the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Exactly.
Like the Brachiosaurus.
Yeah, exactly. And then just moments like that or whatever, you could really see them trying to go for that awe-inspiring Spielbergian Jurassic Park thing or whatever. And it's just like, show your work, movie. Show your work. That does not we're not falling for that or whatever. You have not earned this moment, you know?
It really does feel like they are trying to have their cake and eat it too. They're trying to be this, we're being a disaster monster movie, but we also want to have awe and whimsy like a Spielberg Jurassic Park.
Exactly.
And I mean, they steal from Spielberg with Jaws too. You know, it's like,
Oh yeah.
it's, you know, we're not seeing the monster. We're just seeing destruction. We're seeing, you know,
Right.
just little glimpses of him. And it's like, bro, did you just go through Spielberg's catalog? And, you know, I'm going to take from this, use a little bit of that.
Or the directest reference, we're going to need bigger guns.
Yeah.
Oh my god, right.
Oh,
Oh
jeez.
Jesus, I forgot about that.
Also, do you like how the guy who comes and picks up Nico from Chernobyl is dressed exactly like the Nazi from Raiders of the Lost Ark?
That's right. he
Wait,
was.
what?
Yeah, the guy in the
Oh, yeah.
background, because it's the CIA guy, and the guy right behind him
and
with
then-
the umbrella is dressed
Right.
exactly like the Nazi from Raiders of the
Oh
Lost
my
Ark.
He probably
God.
just got off the set. It's like, oh god, I gotta go.
Yeah, exactly.
Got the umbrella. Just go.
Oh, but that's the thing about this movie, because this movie really does not want to be a Godzilla movie, and it's pretty obvious throughout. And it's like, why in the world did Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin want to make this? Like, so you guys, you're Godzilla fans, right? If you were given the reins, 1998, to pick a director to make a Godzilla movie, who were you picking in 98?
Yeah, well, again, for an American Godzilla movie, I mean, I think we'd answer the question. Spielberg, you know,
yeah,
like, he's
at
just,
the time, yeah.
yeah. I can't think of anybody else who would do it well. Any American director at the time
Yeah.
who would do it better.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone at the time. Maybe if we held off on 98 Godzilla into later Godzilla, maybe James Cameron.
Oh, yeah,
That'd be good too.
That's an
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be interested in that.
When did Titanic came out in what, 97?
I think so.
Okay, so actually, yeah, if we waited till like 2000 and had him, that actually lines up pretty well.
Yeah.
Man, granted, now you're looking down like our director fee is like half the fucking movie budget now. Like,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
be real here.
Yeah.
Because
Jesus.
I know Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin, they weren't the first people to come on. The first director to come on was the guy that directed Speed and Twister.
Okay.
God, what the fuck was
Interesting.
what the fuck was his name? Jean DeBont? Jean DeBont? Going with John DeBont.
DeBont?
Jan. Going with him. Yeah. He directed Twister and Speed in like 94, and he was brought on originally to do Godzilla back in 92. That's when they bought the rights from Toho,
Interesting.
which I don't that couldn't have been better, right? Could you imagine
I don't
92
think so.
CGI on this movie?
Oh, wow. Oh,
Jeez.
Jesus.
God, let's just bring down the whole tone of the podcast right now.
Exactly.
92 Godzilla. But yeah, so where else do we want to go from here? Because this movie has a lot of weird shit going on in it. Like half the cast is from The Simpsons for some reason.
Oh,
and I
yeah,
don't know
that's
why.
right. I was noticing that, yeah. Like, hey, Harry Shearer, Ned Flanders, Kent Brockman. He's doing his Kent Brockman voice here as the news
That's what I
reporter, you
loved.
know?
I was like, wow, we get to see Kent Brockman live.
Exactly.
And he's a total douche.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And then Hank Azaria, of course, you know?
Yeah, and
Dude.
Nancy Cartwright's in it for like
Oh, yeah.
one scene for
That's
some
right,
reason.
yeah.
But we've got Mo consistently throughout the movie. Mo Sizzler.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was like, who is this voice? He does this voice before. I didn't think Mo, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually want to hear what you guys found was weird and everything like that.
Oh God.
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with Reggie where I really appreciated the opening of the movie. That felt the most like a Godzilla movie. And then we jumped to worms. And I'm just like, worms in Chernobyl. And I'm like, what are we doing? I mean, granted, going into this, I haven't seen it since 98 in the theater. So
Yeah, fair enough.
I only remembered like the gumball scene when the
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's
Godzillas
right.
are falling all over the place. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's not as bad as I remember. And then I was just like, oh no, it's as bad as I remember. But it was a nice walk through the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Well, why do they bring Nico to this? Because he's an earthworm expert, and then they're like,
Well, he's a nuclear scientist. I don't know what exactly.
It
Nuclear
was like-
physicist or something.
He was not a nuclear scientist, but he was a scientist studying like, what was it, the effects of radiation
yeah, like
affecting
on worms
the worms and
or on
everything.
animals in general.
Yeah, like, because this is gonna sound really
Hmm.
nerdy of me because I remember it.
Oh.
He explains that the Chernobyl earthworms grew 14% in size, and they're not supposed to be that big. I'm just like, why does it matter?
Well,
But
well, that's a lot of
and
science.
he's like
sorry,
the expert in that field, so it's just like, oh yeah, we gotta bring Nico to top out of this.
Nico Snuffleupagus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, to our secret military thing that we gotta find this giant iguana.
That might or might not be radioactive.
Yes.
Why was he the number one pick by the U.S. military? We need the worm guy.
How? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know peripherally. I'm not a scientist, but there are.
You play one on the internet.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I do a very good job of it. Thank you. But like, you know, like there are there are very specialized fields within science, you know, and there are only so many people working within fields, you know, and like you just think of scientists like, oh, scientists, they know everything, or whatever. Like, no, they do not. They will tell you. Like, I don't know how many other nuclear worm experts there are in the Godzilla 98 universe, but yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, to me, that's not too far fetched, or like, okay, we need to find someone who knows about nuclear radioactive animals. This guy might be the only one. Or maybe there were other people and they weren't available or whatever, you know.
I mean, they have Kathy Griffin on set. You know, she's there for some reason. Why is it that everyone in this movie is either a sitcom actor or
Yeah.
a member of The Simpsons?
Because it's the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn it.
90s.
Because it was
you're
a
right.
joke even to the filmmakers.
For a year, okay, jokes to the filmmakers. The greatest joke this movie ever pulled was making Siskel and Ebert mayor of New York City.
Yes.
Oh my god! And it not like just a one-off cameo thing. It was like an extended, like,
Yeah.
so, like
They're the whole movie.
just like shitting on them or whatever.
I think
So bad.
I think it was because they hated the mayor, like the actual mayor of New York at that
Well,
time.
it felt like both because obviously they're like taking the piss out of Ebert and Siskel or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they gave bad reviews to Independence Day. So
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh,
that's right.
yeah, I mean, of course, we love the pettiness of it all. It's great or whatever. But it also does seem like a attack against Rudy Giuliani, who was mayor at the time. And I don't know if y'all remember Giuliani or whatever, but he was the mayor.
Was he the guy who melted?
Yes,
front of
that's
Trump?
that's
Was
right.
That guy? Oh, okay.
Well,
I know that Giuliani.
Well,
I know when everyone started hating him.
Yeah, he's still around. Yeah, he's still with us, unfortunately. But
He's slowly melting like a candle.
yeah. But he was the mayor when 9/11 happened, and for a while he was America's mayor. He was like super beloved or whatever.
Mhm.
And then he kind of like beclowned himself or whatever, kind of discredited himself, ran for president.
Giuliani discrediting himself?
No,
I would never think. Oh,
Yeah.
ruining his legacy in one fell swoop.
all to advance
How
his
could that
political
happen?
career.
Oh.
And like, so a big criticism of him, it felt like he was exploiting 9/11 for political gain. And in this movie, 3 years before
3 years, yeah.
before 9/11, at the mayor the whole time he's like every little development he's like trying to triangulate. Okay, how can I make this work for me or whatever?
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
that's right. Because even at the end, he's like, "I got it. The mayor defeats
Yes.
Godzilla."
Exactly.
It's like, yeah,
Exactly. Like I was like, dude, that's a total Giuliani, America's mayor on 9/11 or whatever,
Yeah.
and like just like damn, like so in a weird way the movie like a
movie
weird
is
rare
good.
hit for the movie, strike one for the
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, man, why the fuck Siskel and Ebert in here? Now we got on 9/11.
exactly.
This is weird.
There's layers to this movie.
There
It's
is.
yeah, it's like an onion.
Yeah,
Talk
and
about Shrek now?
it's making me cry every layer we go in,
And it
Oh,
stinks
Lord.
like shit.
yes, it does.
But that's the thing, like the Siskel and Ebert thing. Like, I kind of get it. Like, okay, they're petty and they're like, oh, Siskel and Ebert, oh, we're gonna take the piss out of you guys. But then they don't do anything throughout the
Right.
movie. They're just like there for some reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Like most politicians, they're just there.
Right. And so and
They don't know what they're talking
Yeah.
about.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Politics Podcast.
and
Godzilla for President 2024.
And the funny thing
He's
is,
got my vote.
the funny thing is, people brought up the point, like, dude, you got these critics you hate in your movie about a giant monster. Why don't you have the monster eat them or whatever? I think
Exactly.
even Ebert said that in his review, like, they named a mayor after me, a character after me. Why the hell didn't they have Godzilla eat him or whatever?
It's like,
Yeah.
did you not watch Jurassic Park? The dude that gets eaten while sitting on the pot?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh man.
I was waiting for that to happen. And that's the thing about the movie. It feels like it's setting up jokes or it's setting up story beats and then it never like pays them off.
Right? Yeah.
Because we have the thing like you mentioned earlier, that's a lot of fish. Did you know that we're going to set up the fish and then Godzilla's going to run away, get chased by helicopters and then get away? And the military, the greatest military on earth, are like, "Gentlemen, I have a plan. We are going to do the exact same thing with more helicopters. And it will end the exact same way. And we'll try it again."
That
Oh
was
my god.
that was just so stupid. It's like, okay, we got 3 helicopters the first time. How many do we need? Yes.
And like, I remember when they first start shooting at Godzilla in that first fish scene or whatever, he just ducks, and just goes right past them, and they're like, "Oh my, oh shit, oh my god!"
Building.
We blew up the
I-
Chrysler building. No!
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
He
Yeah,
ducks twice
Yeah.
at the fish, and then when
and he doesn't run away. He's like ducking. He's like ducking in place. I ducked for emphasis right there.
Yeah.
And he's and they're just shooting. They're like, "Oh my god, I didn't know he could do that," or whatever. It's like.
He's
tanks have
learning.
turrets, they move. You can swing it down and hit him still. Probably he's like right in front of you. And he's right in front of them too. It's like point blank.
I know, and they couldn't hit him
Oh
at
my
all.
God.
It's
Oh.
like,
Why is this Godzilla so agile? Like, why is this Godzilla, who was the size at one time of Madison Square Garden, the Chrysler building, and also a little bit bigger than a taxi, is able to be so agile when it can change shape so much? What is it? Secret?
He's
Radiation.
a xenomorph raptor. That's why.
He's a
Makes
xenomorph
sense.
raptor that got hit with radiation.
Yeah, exactly. He's definitely not a Godzilla.
No.
It's magic.
It
It
is, yeah.
I want to. So we've established that this is not a Godzilla, right?
Correct.
No.
What is it? Because I don't know much about Godzilla, but I know that this has been accepted into this creature's been
Alright.
accepted into the canon, kind of.
Well-
yeah.
Actually, a very funny story, a very convoluted story. So,
Convoluted stories
Oh,
on a
yeah,
podcast.
yeah, a
I
lot-
wouldn't.
yeah.
Oh, clutch my pearls.
Look at the 100 other episodes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yep.
well, so yeah, so obviously when the film came out, a lot of people were adamant that this was not Godzilla. They're like, that's not a Godzilla. That's
A monster.
yeah,
That's it.
exactly. I quote a guy that Steve Rifle, one of the leading Godzillaologists of our time, or whatever. He went to go see it. A guy said that. I was like, that's not Godzilla. That's a fucked up T-Rex or whatever. so yeah, that was the sentiment at the time or whatever, and that still was. And that wasn't just people on the internet. That was people in Toho who worked
Yeah.
like
On-
actors, special effects artists and stuff. You know, they were like, dude, they just shat all over us or whatever. That's like. Why? How? You know? And so
We gave you our child, and this is how you treat him.
exactly.
We're
And-
taking him back. How dare you.
exactly. We're taking the kids.
Yeah.
So so because of that, people are like, oh, see, Toho doesn't even accept it as Godzilla. You know, that it's something else, or it sucks is what it is, or whatever. And then a couple years later, they
2004.
right, 2000. Oh yeah, that's right. You know,
Yeah.
2004. There was another Godzilla movie. That
Final Wars.
Yeah, Final Wars from Toho, the company that made Godzilla, and this Godzilla appears in that movie, and he's called Zilla. He appears, he fights the original Godzilla, and he gets whooped. And so yeah, it's like
He's
very
on screen for like maybe 2 minutes in
Right.
total.
exactly. Well, granted, he got killed by jets or whatever. There's no way he stood a chance
Yeah,
against
no.
actual Godzilla. You know,
He got smacked into the opera house and then just obliterated. Like, that's it.
So, yeah, like
Even
and
the line.
and it's was it System of who? It's
The System of a Down, I think. At
I
the
think it
time.
was one of those bands playing all the while.
Yeah.
So
Are you telling me there's a Godzilla fight where bodies hit the floor is just jamming the entire fight?
I
I watch
wish.
This.
Oh my word!
I guess I need
This
to
is
look
this
for
the
that
greatest
movie.
franchise of all time? Does this
No.
beat out James Bond?
It's a different song, not Bodies to the Floor.
but it's
unfortunately.
something
My
like
fan had
early
bodies hit the
2000s.
floor.
Yeah, it's even funnier because in that movie, after he gets defeated, even the alien is like, "Ah, man, I should have used the
Yeah.
tuna-loving lizard."
even he's like, oh yeah, he sucked. Why did I put my faith in him or whatever?
Yeah.
But it's fun, and because in this movie he's not Godzilla, he's Zilla, and so people are like, oh, see that the fans are like, see, he's not Godzilla, he's just Zilla because there's no God. They took the God out of Godzilla. Well, Toho, the legal entity Toho, loves Godzilla, but they love their intellectual property even more.
Ah,
So, legally, in the eyes of the law, that creature that TriStar made in 1998, that is Godzilla. And that's why when you buy the movie or watch it on HBO Max or whatever, it's Godzilla.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because there's no way Toho's giving up that those residuals, that copyright
Of
and stuff.
course.
You know, exactly. So, and all future incarnations of the character are just Zilla. So,
Yeah, even like the TV show, I think they do call him Zilla at some point.
oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, and because there was a Godzilla animated series or whatever.
Better
based on
than the
this
movie.
Oh yeah, I love
You
that
didn't know
show.
about that, Dean?
okay. I knew it existed, but I also thought that show was shit. Like what you're telling me it's good?
No,
yeah,
it's
actually
great.
really, it's
Yeah.
much better than the movie.
Yeah, all the people who hated the movie, they loved the show because they're like, this is what Godzilla's supposed to be, you know? Like, yeah, like there's monster fights and everything, weird aliens and stuff. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
like,
Um,
and-
My mind's just been blown. There was good to come out of this abomination.
yes.
Okay,
I have to lend you the seasons I have.
of course you had this. Please tell me they're on VHS.
No,
Damn.
DVD.
Ah, damn. Okay, but I want to know. So this movie comes out big something, it makes money, and they were like playing sequels to it. Do you guys know anything about the sequels that were supposed to exist?
I heard about it I think like 4 years ago, and they were actually playing from the baby Godzilla that survived. They were actually going to plan him to be the Godzilla with like the fire, the military, and all this. Like it was going to be a true Godzilla movie, and they're like, we're taking everything back. Like, no.
Toho was like, sequels? No.
Exactly.
No sequels for you.
So
I mean-
that's locked in the vault.
I was expecting to see a spicy boy Godzilla in this movie, and he only blows fire twice.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't even think he blew fire.
Well, yeah, it's like his breath, his wind breath, and then
Causing
the car,
an
yeah, the
explosion.
car there's gasoline or whatever, and it blows up. It's like, oh, so it's like he's breathing fire, atomic breath or whatever. It's like, just get an atomic breath, dude. Why, like, you don't have to get fancy with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I like how all the people involved in the movie were like, look, we have to do everything to seem like we're paying homage to the real Godzilla, but we can never ever actually let him be anything at all like an actual
Exactly.
Godzilla.
Yes. Exactly. It makes no sense.
Reggie, do you have any ideas of anything about what was going on after it?
Yeah. Well, apparently they had a whole sequel lined up. Like once the movie wrapped up production, or whatever, it was just Godzilla 2. I don't know if it's a full-on script or a treatment or whatever, but it's out.
Script.
Yeah, it's like out on the internet or whatever. And it's by Tab Murphy, the guy who wrote Atlantis: The Lost Empire,
Oh.
among other things or whatever. I think he might have done Hunchback of Notre Dame also. I'm not sure, but yeah, he wrote this script, and apparently, like I said, it was supposed to, like you said, it was supposed to follow the baby Godzilla that survived, and they were going to do what they didn't do in this movie and try to make it more like a regular monster movie. And they were going to introduce another monster for Godzilla to fight. This insect or whatever named Queen Bitch or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, roll it back. Well,
How far back?
What was this creature called again, Reggie? Make that real
Yeah.
clear for me.
Yeah, Queen Bitch.
Okay.
Queen bitch.
Just
Yeah.
to give you an idea of what the tone for this movie would be. Like,
America needed that movie. We
Yeah.
we needed that
we've been robbed.
film in our cultural lexicon.
I'm speechless.
Mm-hmm. No.
I've heard of Mothra, but I've never heard of Queen Bitch. I mean, I know a bunch. But...
Introducing
Yeah.
the newest monster, Queen Bitch.
Well, I would love to see how they would do the marketing ties, the merchandising ties for the kids. You know, like how are they going to market Queen Bitch to kids or whatever? Because
Mom,
kids are going
for
to.
Christmas, I want Queen Bitch.
Exactly.
Mom, please, all
Exactly.
the other
Oh my
kids have
God,
a Queen Bitch.
Oh Jesus! The havoc that would have wreaked. Like kids coming out there saying "Queen Bitch, Queen Bitch."
Somebody's like, I don't want queen bitch. I want bad bitch.
That's right.
You that I swear to why was that in the movie? Why was that?
It
in
was the
script?
'90s.
It was the 90s. And what do you expect?
We were in a different age, man. We were in a different age, people.
Don't be a basic bitch. Buy your kids Queen
Yes.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Christmas of '99.
Oh my lord. There's a lot to be said about how Godzilla, the creature Zilla in this movie sucks, but there's some other things that suck in this. Let's talk about the actors
Oh,
real
God.
quick.
Oof.
Now we'll start with our leading man, the man they earpegged as the hero of this action disaster
Wrong
blockbuster,
Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget,
Do.
fucking Ferris Bueller.
That's what we needed for this
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, my
Matthew
God.
Broderick. Matthew Broderick even said he was miscast in this movie. Do you
Yeah.
think he does a good job in this movie? Do you think he's miscast?
I honestly believe he is. He's not... Like, he plays the scientist part well, but that's about it. Anything else is just like, it could have been better. Could have been done by someone else.
He can't do the action. He can't do the romantic lead stuff that he's
No.
asked for in this
Yeah.
movie.
Isn't Matthew Broderick supposed to be like kind of like a cute, like boyish character or whatever? You know, and like I don't understand. You know, like I just like because I mean I might not be the best source, but he's not cute or whatever. He's kind of got like a Peter Lorre kind of like a
I thought you
you
were
know,
about
like,
to say Peter Griffin. I was like,
Oh.
wait, what?
That would have been a little savage. He's better
Yeah.
shape than Peter Griffin.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Lois, it's Godzilla.
Yeah, yeah, like I don't like it's just because I feel like the character they're trying to do is like Milo from Atlantis or this cute nerd or whatever,
Mhm.
and like Michael J. Fox voiced Milo there or whatever. I'm trying to think of somebody who would have been good for this role or whatever, and just I just don't get that with Matthew Broderick or whatever. He's not cute. He's not heroic. He's not like, oh wow, he really like inspires me. Like I'm impressed that he overcame all this his own insecurities or whatever to stop this monster and get the girl or whatever, you know.
Honestly, I don't even think he even went over his own securities. He was just like, I want to study this creature. And then they kill it. And he's like, oh, I'm sad.
Yeah.
now."
Oh yeah. Exactly.
That
Yeah.
was it.
I was thinking
his
that
whole-
too.
That
Yeah.
was all he wanted to do was just study this creature Creature dies. Sad boy.
Just like, oh yeah, woohoo, we did it. Yeah, we're safe, you know.
But on that, I have an expert on cute boys of the 90s. Miss
Oh.
Boo.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
there
it's
we
Matthew-
go. Yeah,
it-
let's hear
is
it.
Matthew Broderick a cute boy of the 90s?
Yeah, he's cute. I mean, like in a
Scale of 1 to 10.
Where is he on the Skeet Ulrich level?
Ooh.
not as cute as Skeet.
No.
No.
Is he a Matthew Lillard type?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
I've learned this. Miss Boo scales attractiveness on Scream leading men.
Oh my god.
The franchise.
Yeah, I watched Scream the other day. Sorry, guys. Matthew Lillard is not cute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I've said that him and Skeet Ulrich have gotten just better with age.
I don't know about Skeet, but Matthew Lillard, I have to disagree.
Hey, he
he's
played
like
a
fine
wonderful
wine.
Shaggy, okay?
To
He was a
this
good Shaggy. I'll give
to
him that.
this day, Boo will look over at me and be like, "I just want you to know, if Skeet Ulrich ever hit on me, it's over." I'm like, "What are you talking about? We're in line at McDonald's. Skeet Ulrich ain't coming here." They walk to the door, and I'm like, "I guess that's it.
There you
It's
go.
over." But okay,
I'm going to act like I know who you're talking about and just nod my head.
not many people know what I'm talking about.
No.
But he's cute, and I understand what Reggie's going with. You know, it's like, yeah, kind of like the cute, boyish, nerdy scientist. It's like, I can see that. But I'm trying to think from the 90s, who else could they have as that part?
Well, actually, I remember because I was watching with my parents. Whatever, my dad was like, he reminds me of Rick Moranis or whatever. I was thinking, yeah, why didn't they cast him? I was like, well, but I know he retired like at some point. Like
He retired, I
Yeah.
think, a few years. He retired sometime in the 90s, I think, right?
yeah, so
Or
he
was it
might
the
have been retired.
2000s?
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
make sense. Yeah, they probably Rick, we'll get Rick Moranis. Honey, I
would've
Shrunk
been
the Kids, Little Shop of Horrors, or
Yeah.
whatever. And
Oh, who in the Stargate movie? Who played the scientist in that? I know he showed back.
James Spader.
James Spader.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
James Spader
There
could
you
have done
go.
it.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go. He has like kind of that cute. Like it's weird to say that now because you see him or whatever.
You see him on The Office, and you're
Yeah.
like, that is a distinguished gentleman.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, back in the 90s with the hair and everything, he was cute. But he was also kind of, you could see him being heroic, you know?
Mhm.
Like, I buy it more than Matthew Broderick, at least, you know?
Yeah, I think the thing, because Matthew Broderick, like, up to this point, you know, obviously he did, like, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but, like, right before this, he's in The Cable Guy, Lion King, and Glory, right?
Wait,
and I
he was
like
in Lion King?
He
Oh, yeah,
voiced,
that's right.
Simba, right?
Right, yeah,
Yeah, he was
Simba.
the lead in Lion King. He
I
voiced
thought that
Simba.
was someone else. Holy crap.
That man was a chameleon style actor. Disappears into his roles like Daniel Day-Lewis, except in Godzilla. But, like,
Fair enough.
here's the thing. Matthew Broderick, to me, always feels like he's really good in, like, comedic movies. Like, The
Right.
Producers, or, like, Ferris Bueller's Day Off is the shadow that will hang over that man's career forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it really is like, I don't know if he can really do something like this, because this kind of calls for an action hero. This kind of calls for somebody who can play the romantic lead, who's
Right.
it really feels like he's somebody who should have been cast in like a supporting role over the lead role here.
Yeah.
But-
yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, but I mean, you're not getting Will Smith for this movie.
Oh, no,
Like, let's be
absolutely.
honest here.
No, we could have gotten Arnold.
Could you? Oh,
Ooh.
I am
That'd be
Nico
very
Papadopoulos. I examine worms.
We
Wait,
got
I
into
watched
a
that.
dirty nest.
Oh my God.
This is around the time of Jingle All the Way, Arnold. So he
Oh,
was, he was,
yeah.
he was
Oh,
trimming,
yeah.
he was
Yeah.
trimming down. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
he wasn't jacked like.
Yeah.
I was Mr. Olympia while I was in college protesting the nukes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would have worked out. He was
Yeah.
protesting nukes.
Mhm.
They got nukes in the movie. Problem solved.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why Arnold would want to stop Godzilla. He was also affected by nuclear mutation. He became a bigger man.
Full circle.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's Matthew Broderick. We also have, in my opinion, the best actor in the movie, Jean Reno as
Oh, yeah.
Felipe Roach.
Mhm.
Yes.
This man walked on set and said, "You know what, gentlemen? Sorry, you'll know what, gentlemen? I'm going to chew this scenery like a French baguette. It shall be delicious." Because he is every French stereotype in this
He
movie.
really
Yeah,
is.
he was.
Also, I just want to take a minute. You play way too much Team Fortress 2 with your spy impression over there.
Look, I love me some TF2, and the spy is the greatest character in TF2. Thank you very much. I want that to be noted.
I thought it was a scout for you, but okay.
And he's. We're gonna get to the scout because that is who Hank Azaria is playing.
Yes.
The most Brooklyn man over Brooklyn.
Fair enough.
But Jean Reno, like, who's playing French Secret Service.
Yes.
Right. Well, he's an insurance guy.
He's an insurance guy
On the side.
on the side. What is his deal? Like, do you think he's trying in this movie, or do you think he is just rolling around and eating some scenery? He's hamming it up. Like, I think he's hamming it up.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like everybody's hamming it up in this movie, but for him, I don't know. His ham is it tastes good compared to everybody else's.
Yeah.
You know, I
it's
accept
like
it.
the best hand that there
It
was
is,
in the
yeah.
movie.
It is. It's the choicest ham. And like, I think of like the scenes that really stuck out to me. Well, one of the ones that did stick out to me from as a kid was that scene where he meets with a fisherman, the Japanese fisherman whose boat got attacked by Godzilla, and then he's
The lighter.
yeah, he busts out the little lighter. He's just like, "What did you see, old man?" And again, a very intense, effective scene that doesn't gel with the rest of the movie or whatever.
It's like, yeah, this would fit if it was going down that route, but it's just like they're going down that route and then you turn left.
It's like Jean Reno, half the movie is trying to play like a serious monster film. He's like, I am hunting down Godzilla, and I'm trying to stop him, for the French have caused him doing a nuclear weapons test, because no way Roland Emmerich would get this made in America if he said the Americans did it.
Exactly.
And then he's like, no, we chewing gum because it makes us look more American. I'm like, what? You are half of the time you are the French James Bond, and the other half you are a French caricature. You are Pepe Le Pew, sir.
Well, I mean, is he wrong about the bubble gum?
Yeah. It works.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
That-
you very much.
When I rewatched that scene, I was like, what the hell? Love Elvis. A lot of movies back home. I was like, how many movies of Elvis are in France? What the?
He was the king. Well, it's funny because actually that brings circling back to, you said at the beginning, like you were talking about how the origins of Godzilla here, like kind of like it's almost like a slap in the face to the original. And because here, like I completely forgot to talk about this, but he's not created by American nuclear testing. He's created by French nuclear testing here. And so it's interesting because at that time, there were nuclear tests. The French had been doing their own nuclear tests in the Pacific or whatever. Mm-hmm. And there was actually a lot of controversy over that. There's protests. And there's actually this incident where Greenpeace, they had a ship or whatever in New Zealand. They were going to go out and protest or whatever, sail. And it got bombed. Like, not a nuclear bomb, but like a conventional bomb. And some people, I think at least one person died or whatever.
I would just like to make a note. Obviously, that's a French bomb. Only one casualty. Pussy shit
Exactly,
right there.
exactly.
That wasn't an American bomb.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It would just be like a smoldering wasteland.
There was once a fine city here.
Exactly.
That's fucked up.
No.
Do you think the filmmakers were like trying to comment on that? Like,
I think no, yeah,
it has to be a
absolutely.
conscious thing,
Some
right?
way,
Right, yeah, absolutely. And like, yeah, that's interesting. That's topical or whatever. But it's like really like the American nuclear test. It's like you said. It's kind of like a betrayal of the original or whatever. You know, you have a Godzilla movie set in America, and it's the French who are the dastardly French who are the bad guys for creating Godzilla. You know?
Yeah. Well, at least
only
they
in
were trying
America.
to fix their mistake by getting rid of the problem.
Right? Yeah.
Except the problem kind of revealed itself, and it's just like, oh, what do we do? Don't worry. We find a way to kill him. But that's the whole point. We can't use a handgun to kill something the size of a building.
Well, sometimes it's the size of a building. Other times, just a big Ford F-150.
Oh,
that's
right,
true.
right.
I'm still so confused about the size of this Godzilla.
Yeah, the inconsistencies of the size was weird.
But yeah, that's like Jean Reno. But we have Miss Boo's favorite character, the favorite actor of this film, Maria Pitillo, who plays Audrey.
Dude, she's a mess.
But she was in Chaplin.
She was, but it's just like, bro, you just keep stabbing the guy in the back.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
did.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we supposed to be invested in their relationship? Because it feels like Audrey is like the worst character in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole beginning like, oh yeah, we dated in college. He tried to marry me, and I just ghosted him.
Not just ghosted him, left in the night.
Yeah,
She was like, man, he offered up that ring, and I was like, I ain't gonna be tied down. And just flew away.
she was the meme of the
It fell
dude just
flat.
like saying peace out and disappearing. That was her.
She Homer Simpsoned him, just backed up into the bushes.
Yeah,
Or disappeared like this Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
that's better.
I would have been my eyes would have rolled so hard I might have gotten blind if Matthew Broderick was like, Audrey, this Godzilla's disappearing, just like how you disappeared that winter's night when you left me.
And you just see Victor like, oh.
But what is it with her performance in this movie? Because she's been in stuff, you know. I don't know if she was like a famous actress at this point, but she was in movies. She was in like True Romance, Chaplin. But it seems like she has no idea what emotion she's supposed to have for every scene. Like, I don't know if she's supposed to act scared or in awe or in love or what. It feels like she's in a different movie.
I think they just drew the script out and was like, just go with it. Roll. Improv.
Yeah, like, she seemed very immature even for the rest of the movie or whatever. Like, she just seems like, oh, like, I don't know what to do. I'm feeling sort of affectional or whatever, you know, just like that whole plot thread of her friend Animal and his wife telling her, oh, you gotta be like an animal in this business, you gotta be vicious or whatever.
It's a dog eat dog town.
Exactly. And then stabbing Nick in the back or whatever, stealing his tape or whatever. Oh my god, he's just like, hey, that was a cool. Yeah, exactly. Well, I didn't think he would hate me because I stole his tape, betrayed his trust.
Not only betrayed his trust, but she stole top secret military information.
That's right, yeah.
Bitch, he's gonna be on trial for treason. You fucked up real bad.
Fucking journalism.
Greg's like, fucking fake news.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then she was surprised, like, oh, the asshole who tried to invite me to dinner took my story. It's just like, what do you expect?
I like how Kent Brockman in this is an absolute fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But he's the funniest part about this movie. But it just astounds me because I think with her, you can tell right away that Roland Emmerich gave zero direction to the actors during this movie.
Yeah.
I think off camera, he probably had like, you know, papers with like emoticons on it, you know. Okay, oh, I need her to cry face. Oh, hold on. Confused. Wait. Sad. Briefly happy.
That
Hold up two at the same time.
confused sign was up for a long time in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, deadpan. 20 minutes. We're still going. Okay. Cut. We're good for the day.
And then cry like a little bitch, pan.
Oh my god. He's gonna hate me.
It's like hearing.
That was the worst scene in this movie.
Oh, man.
No, the worst scene was when he was like, yeah, you know, I'm pissed off. You know, you abandoned me. It's been 8 years. I loved you.
And he just like, oh, I forgive you. It's just like,
oh, yeah, exactly.
And then he's like, you want some tea? And I was just like,
I
no.
Yeah.
I got green tea.
That's the
Want
thing.
some matcha?
That's the thing about this movie. There's no part of this where I feel any of the human story is interesting or they're even acting human. There's no human connection to this. And I think Roland Emmerich's trying to make Godzilla the star, but Godzilla ain't the star of this movie.
Oh, no.
So like in the other Godzilla movies, I guess leading up to this, because the first movie, Godzilla's not like the star, right? It's like a scientist and it's them dealing with him. But as the series goes on, does Godzilla just forefront? He's got, you know, all the leading part, like he is the star of the show.
It kind of, yeah, like the emphasis is obviously on it. Like we think the plot, there's like there's a human story always, you know, but like a lot, it becomes increasingly clear that's kind of like window dressing to like, oh, build up to Godzilla, you know, and the monster fight, you know, and it works to varying degrees or whatever, but like here it just doesn't, you know, because like you just don't care about the human characters, you know, really.
No.
Like, and it tries to make you, it spends a lot of time trying to make you care about them, but it just doesn't work, you know. So yeah, like we were just talking about right now, Nick and what's it called? Audrey. Audrey's relationship. You just like narrative dump that, oh well, we were together and you left me or you jilted me or whatever, you know. Just like, dude, I don't care. There's a monster running around destroying the city, you know.
Yeah,
I couldn't care less, you know.
That's the weirdest thing because again, it goes back to this same thing we said earlier. It's a movie that's trying to do two things at the same time and doesn't earn either of them.
Exactly.
It's trying to be the disaster monster movie and it's trying to be this hokey Hollywood romance thing, but it's
comedy movie.
It's like it's trying to be a comedy, a disaster movie, a horror movie, and none of it lands. It's not very funny. It's not very scary. But you know what is scary? Hank Azaria's amazing Brooklyn accent.
He think he was like, all right, I got a new lead. What am I playing as? The Brooklyn guy? All right, I'll be back. I'm going to Brooklyn for 6 months, and I'll be on set by tomorrow. Wait, what? Bye.
I like how Greg looks at Hank Azaria and he's like, this man studied Brooklynites for 6 months to perfect it. What is Hank Azaria's role in this? He's comic relief, right?
Yes.
Which is a weird thing to say because it feels like all the characters are comic relief.
Right?
He's the main focus of comic relief, I feel like. Because like the whole time in the movie, he's always cracking jokes. He's always saying like a smart ass.
Right, yeah. Him and his wife, yeah.
Yes.
He is the comic relief that never turns off. And I feel like
Right.
every other character is comic relief for one scene and then they're a scene off, but he's got to be the marathon man.
Right,
Comic
right.
relief every scene.
Exactly.
So that's like the main four, right? That's the big cast
Yes.
we have to
Right,
follow.
yeah.
Where else do we want to go from here? Any other things about
I
this
think-
movie that got you?
One of the actors, the guy who played Sergeant O'Neill. He's not the major military
Yeah.
guy. That's Colonel Hicks, but he's like the second in command.
Yeah, he's like on the ground, yeah.
Yeah. Like the whole time I see him, he's just like he doesn't know what he's doing. He loses like, wait, I'm in the military. That's right.
That's the other thing. The military represented in this movie, are they all incompetent?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no point in this where I feel like the military represented in this film has any handle on how to defeat this Godzilla
Right.
this at all.
I mean, considering when most of the time,
They're just-
let's shoot our little tiny guns at this Godzilla that's bigger than the Chrysler building. That'll get him.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then it turns out he just need a jet to shoot a missile at him, and a couple missiles at him, and he'll die or
Yeah.
whatever.
In one of the most epic death scenes ever.
It is.
Oh yeah.
The music for that music score for that was just heartbreaking to me.
No,
I
no,
also-
your suggestion earlier was perfect.
Which one?
In the Arms of the Angels.
Oh yeah.
As he's swirling through the water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The
Oh yeah,
fake
exactly.
death
Yeah.
scene. We forgot to talk
I
about
know.
that.
Yeah.
That's a major one, right?
Well, he
that's
dies a couple of times.
Yeah.
he does. Because we that's the second helicopter chase. Like they chase him, he's in the water, he dives in, and he blows up a submarine.
He cuts
Right.
the submarine.
Oh
with
yeah,
his
with his
spikes.
spines. Yeah.
They finally get him. Direct hit. He's sinking into the water in a beautiful bad CGI death. In the arms of the angel. Dead, right?
Yeah.
And then that's when they finally figure out, oh, he was laying eggs in Madison Square Garden, right?
No, this was beforehand. Like before the French and Nick went to the tunnels.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
But like, why did they have to establish like a Godzilla fake out death at that point?
Yeah.
Also,
Because he comes back again.
For
Yeah.
cinema.
Exactly.
he teleported.
cinema.
They
We need a beautiful
yeah.
death.
Yeah. They lose track of this dead monster somehow or whatever. Like they have this stupid throwaway line like, "Oh, we've got divers looking for the body" or whatever. It's like, dude, how are you a dead body of a giant monster? How do you not find it? That's
The Hudson River ain't that deep, bro.
Yeah. Also,
They're also, oh yeah, we're just gonna go send some divers, fish him out of the river.
Right,
And it's
yeah,
just
it's
like,
like-
he's
Don't
larger
wor-
than life. You
Yeah.
know, we got it. It's
Yeah.
okay.
don't worry, guys. We got Jim's F-150 up at the bank. We got the line for the tow. We're just going to tow him up onto the shore and
They're-
just take him.
The divers aren't even in scuba gear. It's some jackass in some swim trunks and a snorkel.
Yeah.
He's like, grabs the winch. Don't worry, me and my cousin go mudding every other Tuesday. We got you. Dives down in there.
And you just hear him on like some radio. We don't see him.
yeah.
How do we not see him? He's a 200-foot
Yeah.
lizard.
Well, keep looking. He must be there somewhere.
I think he died over here. Let's go.
Exactly.
The logic of this movie is no sense. No goddamn sense.
Also, I will go back to a point you made, Dean, about the American military being incompetent. Our actual military would have just kept firing till there's
Oh,
just
yeah.
chunks.
The-
And they just hit him 2 times with torpedoes. Direct hit, we got him. Yeah.
Pops out the champagne bottles.
You know, like at some point they established that the city's been like evacuated or whatever. I think at that point they were just nuked. They would have nuked Godzilla. You
Yeah.
know, like
I thought about that when they mentioned, oh, we evacuated. I'm like, is this where we start firebombing New York City?
yeah.
Is it? Are we at that point of the movie?
You will firebomb New York over my dead body.
And that makes Ebert and Siskel heroes of New York City in that moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man. But after the fake out of Godzilla death, I really wanted to talk about the 45-minute Looney Tunes episode we have at the Madison Square Garden. That your favorite part of the movie.
That was the only thing I remembered.
Yeah.
Why does Godzilla have... Okay, I know there's a movie called Son of Godzilla. I know that much about
That's
it.
right.
God.
Does Godzilla have kids?
Yeah.
He does, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Does Godzilla lay the eggs?
No.
No.
So, another thing about this movie, Godzilla is not a boy?
And it says in the movie. He is
he
a
is a
boy.
boy.
He's a boy, but
He's-
he's asexual, they say? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, he
whatever?
can reproduce asexually.
So
I think most lizards can.
I looked it
Yeah.
up because I was like, is this the only movie with a female Godzilla? And it was like, no, all Godzillas are male, but they reproduce that way, like lizards. So,
Yes.
because I was like, is there like a mommy and a daddy Godzilla? And
That would
then-
be worse.
That's what I was wondering
Uh-huh.
about. Is there a mommy and daddy Godzilla?
To be honest, as a kid, I did think like when they hit him with the torpedoes, like, oh, there goes the dad, and then the mom is the one that popped up.
The mom jumps out and like eats the daddy Godzilla.
oh yeah.
No, like when you see the head pop out from the Madison Square Garden after they just bombed it, it's like, oh, there's mom.
Oh,
and
right.
she's pissed.
That would be
Actually, that would have
Yeah.
made so much sense.
Yeah.
That would explain why they
That
were
makes
able to
so
like. That's why it explained why it's like, oh, this Godzilla's able to disappear and like was able to
Right.
get behind him and all that stuff because it wasn't just
Oh,
one
and
Godzilla
Tyson
chasing.
consistency as well.
yeah.
Why is it there only one Godzilla
Yeah.
in this movie?
That would. Well, I think that's because at the beginning of the movie, like after it shows the nuclear radiation and all that, they zoom in on the one egg that survived.
Right,
But
right.
that's it.
There should have been two Godzillas.
There should have.
Yeah, you already wrote a better movie than these guys.
I know. You know, I should go into filmmaking.
Oh,
Dean, I'm
man.
taking your job.
Oh no, Dude, that's the thing, because like the writers of this movie, because the original writers are like Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, who they have some good writing credits to them. I think the same year this came out, they also wrote Mask of Zorro and Small Soldiers.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they wrote Small Soldiers?
They also wrote
Oh.
Aladdin and Little Monsters. They're
Oh,
the original
really?
scriptwriters, right?
Dang.
But
Eh.
but here's the thing: you think about it, and you're like, that's some pedigree. How the fuck they turned this out? That's because when Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin came
Right.
on, they were like, "Oh, I don't like this. This is too much like a Godzilla movie."
This is too much of a Godzilla movie we've never seen.
So
Right.
they decided to go over the entire script and rewrite it, and only kept the outline. So only the plot beats from the movie are still in it from their original script.
Wow.
So you're saying we could have had Archer and the Gorgonites in this Godzilla movie?
Oh my god!
I'm saying
Greg, are you okay?
no, that just blew my mind.
we could have had Aladdin in this movie.
Oh my.
The
No,
genie.
no. The genie, yes, but not Aladdin.
Bro, we could have Zorro in that. Also, why is there no Anthony Hopkins in this movie? Every movie could be made better with some Anthony Hopkins.
That's true.
He could eat Godzilla.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Hannibal Lecter versus Godzilla.
Also,
Oh,
We
I
got
watched
Charles
that.
Barkley versus Godzilla.
Oh yeah.
Oh
why
my
not?
god.
I
That's
gotta
in
make a
the
point
game,
of
that's
this. Dean has been wanting to eat Godzilla lately, and I don't know what it is with him.
Okay.
Dean,
So-
explain.
What are we talking about? It was like, was it about this movie or whatever?
I think we're just talking about Godzilla in general, and you're like,
Okay.
yeah, blow him up into pieces, and then I eat him, and I'm like, why? Why would
Okay.
you do
Well,
that?
here's the thing, because
Yeah,
a lot
I need
of these-
context on this.
Yeah.
I don't know what the context was. I might have been a little drunk. So I think we're talking about
He
Godzilla.
stole cone soap.
We were talking about
That
Godzilla.
sounds like Dean.
And I was like, oh, Godzilla dies, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, there's a whole Godzilla body there. What do you do with that? And I'm like, well, I mean, like you could eat that, right? That's a whole lot of meat. Stir fry Godzilla, barbecue Godzilla,
Fried Godzilla.
fried Godzilla, sautéed Godzilla. There's a
Godzilla potatoes.
Godzilla potatoes. I'm like,
Sushi Godzilla.
So-
Yeah.
I think Godzilla would make a fine addition to any kind of like quinoa salad. All right, but here
What salad?
I don't know. I saw it on a commercial, and I don't know what quinoa salad means, but it sounds cool.
Was it from the Taco Bell ad?
Chalupa,
That's all he watches.
Chalupa Godzilla, Godzilla tacos. But that's the thing. So
Godzilla burger from McDonald's.
it's an impossible Godzilla burger. It's so good you can't believe it's not Godzilla. Because at the end of this movie,
Can't believe
Godzilla
it's not Godzilla?
dies, right?
Yes.
And it's like, you could eat that Godzilla. You might gain his strength, right?
Oh
A whole race of New Yorkers that are now double in size because they ate Godzilla
Oh
meat.
my god.
And then 2 weeks later, what happened to New York? Oh, radiation poisoning.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened to New York's, sewage system? All the toilets are blown out.
Oh
after
yeah,
eating Godzilla.
exactly.
But
Yo, why are the
Damn.
rats like 4 foot tall now? It's a Skaven.
oh my god, that's the back door to your Warhammer.
Oh,
your
man.
Warhammer movie.
Jesus.
The rats of New York ate Godzilla, and now they're giant mutated rat creatures.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Going on that tangent though, in the anime series, they do have giant rats.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They're
boys.
people size, so it's terrifying. They carry people into the sewers.
This has been like a recent thing that Dean's been mentioning about eating Godzilla, but Skaven, this is like a daily thing that
Oh,
I
my-
have to hear from him. I don't need to hear about large
Oh.
Skaven from Godzilla.
Boys, I
You
need to get
relatively-
Netflix on the phone. I think we got an idea here.
Yeah.
We got a golden ticket to Hollywood.
Oh man.
Oh, rodents of unusual size. Oh my god, that's way bigger than I thought.
It is. I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about a second ago. I got on a Godzilla tangent about eating him, and that sounds delicious.
And then I went on two different tangents at the same
It's probably
time.
very stringy, bony. That Godzilla anyway. The original, that one, that was.
That
really
would've
good.
been, like,
oh, that would have been
the
a
best.
feast. Like,
I like how
A
Reggie's
piece
over
of
here
meal
being
by
like,
you're
like, oh, gee, Godzilla, though. I mean, he kind
to
of
be
thick.
thick though, yeah.
I guess you could say it's a feast made for a king.
Exactly. King of the monsters.
King of the Monster Barbecue.
Yeah.
We can
oh
freak- we can-
my god.
we
Let's
could-
do this. Let's do this.
Can we have a Godzilla-themed barbecue joint?
Oh, we just go to
I'm down.
Toho. They have Godzilla Land.
Gentlemen, Boo, I feel we have an idea. Get
Oh,
Netflix on the
yeah.
call.
No, they were going to Godzilla on Netflix.
And they'll probably sue us for it. Coming up with like-
Oh,
And
And
then
they'll
two-
charge us like $9.99 a month.
exactly.
all right. $9.99 a month for your own idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like Netflix.
I believe it.
So,
Oh.
going back to the last 45 minutes of the movie with the freaking babies, I just want to ask, like, they're strong enough to bust down the doors, but not strong enough to go through some blinds?
That's a good point, because it is very confusing how strong the baby Godzillas are, because at one point they're as vicious as Jurassic Park Velociraptors,
Yeah.
and then they're scared off by falling chandeliers.
Yeah, I was
Well, I
thinking
think
that too.
That was different.
It's this big loud noise.
Yeah.
Let me back away from it. But also, they're trying to evade all the baby Godzillas. You're in Madison Square Garden. There's locker rooms. There's merch. Why wouldn't you change your fish-smelling clothes?
All
So
right.
they,
Well, I mean,
throw the clothes around so you kind of, throw them off your scent a little bit.
I don't think they
Oh.
could afford Knicks jerseys. You know how much
Yeah.
they are at Madison Square Garden? My word.
Well, this is
Oh.
90s money. It's not like
Yeah, that's
now.
true.
But 90s
Or-
money
Money was-
was worth more.
yes. I mean, I don't think that would have helped. I mean, it's funny because when the elevator opens, it's like, what's up? Dinner?
Oh my god. That was I remember that from when I first watched it, and I watched it, I'm like, why? I'm like, who is he talking to? The Godzillas don't understand him. There's nobody else. Like, it makes no fucking sense or whatever. It's like it's like a stupid fourth wall joke that just
Yeah.
Oh,
it fails. It doesn't work.
It does.
Bad joke. movie.
There's a lot of bad jokes in the movie
Yes.
that don't
Yes.
work.
Um,
What is it? It's like the only people that die are the Frenchmen, and I'm like,
Oh
well,
yeah.
that seems racist to the
well,
French.
Exactly.
that and
Boo,
the,
do you feel offended as a French person?
Yes, I do.
Hold on.
We.
Then,
We miss you.
going back to how strong the Godzillas are, when the elevator door is closing, Nick pushes one out with its
Oh
foot.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
just like that thing is trying to come in and get him. It's going full force.
They also make a note that they're supposed to be like 9 feet tall in the
Yeah.
broadcast.
About over 9
Right.
feet, give or take.
And I'm like, Matthew Broderick could 1v1 one of these things.
I
I think we're okay, boys.
Dean, can you 1v1 a baby Zilla?
If Matthew Broderick can, I think I can.
Yeah.
Goddammit. I'm at
Like
least a
those
foot
odds.
taller. I'm at least a foot taller than Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, because the CGI falls apart here, right? Because we have parts of it that are the puppets when it's close up, and then when
Like
we
them
see them,
popping out the eggs.
yeah, when they're popping out the eggs, that's all puppetry.
Yeah.
But then when we see them having to like run, and when they're running on top of the gumballs, I'm like, I don't think their feet are touching the ground anymore. I literally think that Godzilla's floating as it's standing there.
Okay, so in that scene, I was watching it and I had to like go back a few times. In the background, you just see one Godzilla just kind of like jump over another, like how kids will, like one trips and then it's like the other one does like a Superman jump over,
Uh huh.
and it's like very quick, but you can see it in like the background of it. It's just like one Godzilla, like, yeah.
Why is the CGI doing those things? Because they all move in this scene really wonky and herky jerky, and it's
Why
all
is the
under.
scene Home Alone?
That's also true. And why is it
Yeah.
all under fluorescent lighting? It like the lighting, how they're moving, the whole concept of it is so weird and awkward, and it goes on for so long. How long are they in Madison Square Garden? And anyone got a shot?
40 minutes? Was it? 30? Like,
An eternity.
Too long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
too long.
About 6 minutes.
Bullshit.
yeah, that's
sir.
right. That's right.
Bullshit, sir. This did anyone else feel like this movie was too long?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, last night when I made sure to watch it before this discussion, this podcast or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, I can watch it. Godzilla, probably like an hour and 30 minutes. I pulled it up on HBO Max. It's like 2 hours and 18 minutes.
Thank you,
Like,
Reggie. That's how I felt last night too.
Exactly.
Like, are you kidding? I started this like 9:30. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna be watching this all night.
Exactly.
Oh, Greg, what about you? Did you remember this being this long?
No, as a kid, I thought it was shorter.
Bro, I was the same way. I turned it on and I was like halfway through. I'm like, oh, we're almost done, right? Yeah, they're chasing him. He's falling into the water. Yeah, they're gonna bomb him, and we got 20 minutes after. There's an hour left of this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is worse than what was it? Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
We went to go see Halloween Ends in theaters, and as we were walking out, and I'm like, man, it's still kind of bright out. That was a 3-hour movie, though, right?
Well, no. We got in and it was bright outside, and we left. It was pitch black outside. And Dean's like, yeah, we've been gone for a long time. And I'm like, dude, it's not even 7 yet. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, we were in there for hours. I'm like, it was like an hour and a half. And like, this movie's, 2:18.
Yeah.
And it feels like Ben-Hur. It feels so long.
I saw your story this morning, Reggie.
Oh.
I'm watching it, and I was like, oh my god, he stayed up all night watching
Yeah.
the movie.
Exactly.
Like, poor thing.
There's so many things that are weird and wrong with this movie. Like the acting's either awkward or bad throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, how does Animal's wife not know that he's gone
Oh yeah.
for that long?
Exactly.
Let's be honest, I don't think she cares.
Well, I mean, after
He wasn't-
inviting, everyone in the neighborhood into their
Oh,
home.
Yeah, it's kind of sus.
She probably lost him in the crowd.
Yeah.
Right? She was like, where's my husband? I don't know. I got weird hippie dude in this apartment for some reason. There's some weird background actors in this
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
There was.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, what are these people doing? Oh, I invited the neighborhood in. Why?
Weren't you guys supposed to be evacuated at this point?
Yeah.
Well, they're in Jersey, so.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh, wow. I offended all of New York out there. Jersey, New York, basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Basically the same thing. I see
Corporate wants you to identify the picture.
Oh my god.
they're the same thing. But yeah.
Also, I just want to talk about like the military headquarters with Major Hicks and the other two scientists, Craven and
Oh, Elsie. Yeah.
yeah, Elsie. They're not that Major was in the movie. It's like, oh yeah, we have a few scenes to like the two other scientists. Hicks is, I kind of get it. He's like the head man in charge.
Right.
He's the only one who I kind of found competent.
Yeah.
I kind of get what you're throwing down there. Yeah. Like the military for the most part is represented by Hicks and and O'Neill, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like they're half the fucking movie.
Yeah, and there's like a couple scenes like it looks like a general and there's an admiral or whatever, but they're
Oh.
like they come in like here and there or whatever.
Don't worry, son. The Navy.
Oh yeah,
got
got a little
surprise
surprise for him,
It's
whatever.
What?
There shouldn't be any surprises for the Godzilla when you tell the military, you should just say, "All right, General, we're just gonna drop about 200 bombs on New York City, and there ain't gonna be no Godzilla left."
Exactly.
We're gonna
Yeah.
have Godzilla steaks like champions after this.
That's right.
Ugh.
Always trying to eat Godzilla.
Godzilla jerky.
Godzilla jerky, Godzilla ham, honey baked Godzilla. There's a lot we can do with this Godzilla.
Godzilla.
meat.
Godzilla
Roast.
bacon.
But yeah, any-
Godzilla pozole?
Oh, that
yo,
does sound good.
can
I would
you
eat that.
can you
Hold
make
on,
me some
hold on.
Godzilla pasola?
Godzilla bunnikas.
Oh my
Ooh.
jeez.
That's
I'm getting kind of hungry now.
You're not the only one.
All right. Anybody else have any final thoughts on Godzilla before we go get
Yeah.
Godzilla steaks?
Yeah. Well, you brought up the side characters Craven and Elsie, and it was weird because it seemed like when Elsie meets Nico or whatever, Like it seems like they're trying to build it. Oh, they're going to end up together because she's like,
Yeah.
oh, so you got a girlfriend?
No,
or
it
wife?
wasn't like a wife or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. She's just like so, and he's just like, oh, no, I didn't see anybody. Like, just like, well, why do you ask or whatever? And then
Yeah, it-
she's like, oh, okay, good to know or whatever.
I think,
It happens.
She is written out of the movie so goddamn fast.
well, her and Craven.
She ends up kissing Craven at the
Yeah.
end.
Which
And
was
then
funny
she's
as
like,
hell
that doesn't count.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was a
because
mistake.
like you see Craven's like, oh
Yeah.
really? And she's like, oh no, I regret my whole life.
Yeah.
That whole sub thing about the movie, because I think it really wanted to try and get Nico to end up with somebody that was not Audrey, and then they
Right.
just chickened out.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes
Ugh.
sense. Like, no, he has to end up with the cute blonde girl.
Yeah.
This is racist
And I
against
use cute
redheads.
usually. Usually. Yeah, no, yeah.
It
And it's
really
funny
was.
because in the cartoon, Audrey's kind of like a side character, and Elsie, because they're like a team or whatever, Nico and them are a team.
Oh yeah.
And so she's like the main girl.
Aim or
And-
something.
okay.
yeah, and do they end up together? I don't remember.
No,
but
she actually starts like I think in like later seasons she starts showing more towards Craven.
oh, okay, yeah, I have to revisit it. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. It just seems like she seems like the girl that Nico's supposed to end up with. Just
It-
like
Yeah, it really looked like that was the route they were going with, but then it's just again you make a U-turn and go back left.
exactly. Yeah, probably again. That's probably Emmerich and Devlin going. No, it has to be. He has to end up with Audrey or whatever.
The blonde, yeah.
Yeah, the blonde.
Roland Emmerich is like, look, we must have him end up with blonde woman.
Yeah.
Why, Roland? Do
Why
not worry about it. It's okay.
No reason.
No reason at all.
He had to end up with blonde woman with blue eyes.
Yeah.
I have no idea where Roland Emmerich is from, but that tracks.
I
The
think
name
he's
like Roland.
No, he's German. He's German. That's right.
Oh,
This-
yeah.
There you go.
That's right.
I was I was like, why is he using a Russian?
Wait, hold on. Are you sure he's not Argentinian?
Oh yeah, he's Argentinian. Right?
Boys, we're in the dark days.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Before we do leave, I want to talk about the final Godzilla chase scene where they're in the
oh,
taxi.
Lord.
Yeah, how do we miss that?
I
We missed
wrote,
a
I
whole
wrote-
lot of stuff, and that's for the best.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually made a note about this 'cause when I was watching the movie, I was watching the final chase, and the only thing I had was time to see who is faster, Godzilla or a New York taxi. It's the taxi. It's always the taxi.
Yes.
Because Dean Devlin made a point when he was like writing the movie and doing the production stuff. He wanted Godzilla to be this animal. He wanted it to be so different from the original Godzilla. He wanted very unique, right? Which
Right.
like respectable. He wants a very Americanized like Godzilla for his vision. But the one thing he made note of, he didn't want a slow-moving, meandering monster Godzilla. He wanted a fast Godzilla. He wanted this thing to be able to move like 200 miles an hour, fast, agile, deadly, and it can't keep up with a 1993
New York
New
taxi.
York taxi.
It's probably not even a 1993 taxi. It's
It-
probably an 80s taxi.
Right.
It really is.
It's an 89 fucking Lincoln Continental.
My whole point is they get trapped in one of the subway tunnels,
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
just like Godzilla's like, oh no, I can't get to him. I'm trying to reach. It's like you could dig.
I was thinking that. I was like, yeah, he just dug through the sewer, Madison Square Garden. Why the hell is like, oh shoot,
Like-
subway tunnels, my only weakness.
Plot convenience. I forgot I could do this.
The biggest sin of this movie is the sloppy script.
Yeah.
The biggest sin of this movie is the sloppy script.
So you didn't like the Back to the Future nod or the Back to the Future nod from the ride, where the taxi's in his mouth, and
Oh,
yeah,
God.
let's drive out of his mouth just like in the ride.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
No
also,
comment.
like how we get.
I didn't
how we
relive
get
my
free.
childhood.
You're going the wrong way, man.
Oh my god.
That little scene I did chuckle. So it's like, would you shut up?
Yeah.
The only laugh in the movie. The only laugh in the movie that got me.
Yeah. And
Leave it to the guy who's worked on a comedy TV show for 20-something years to actually make me laugh. Right.
and the only way to get out, I'm just going to shock his gum.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
Also, I just want to point out the Brooklyn Bridge is suspended pretty high up, right?
Yeah.
I actually looked up a picture of the Brooklyn Bridge and how Godzilla was holding on. No way. 'Cause
Greg,
Greg
I
did,
did.
He's got
Greg did
receipts today.
research.
Yeah.
I did because Godzilla would have to be holding on to the lower level, but even then, his hands should have just gone straight through. He looked like a Diglett popping out of the Brooklyn Bridge tunnel, just trying to eat them, and then also he just jumped straight up onto the bridge. I'm just like,
Looking like a raccoon running through the
Right,
top
right,
of the
yeah,
bridge.
yeah.
And I'm just like,
Exactly.
what is going on here?
what's even funnier is that he jumps above the first archway, but then
Yeah.
goes through the second?
Yeah. I think it's
That-
caught in the cables.
Yeah.
That was really weird because it goes at the same thing where I don't know how big Godzilla is because he's able to run pretty briskly on like the 2 lanes of the Brooklyn Bridge,
Yeah.
and then he gets caught, and then suddenly he's as big or bigger than the Brooklyn Bridge, and he's all tied up in it.
Yeah, I
Right.
think that's because the cables caught in the spikes, preventing him to like really push forward.
Well, I get that, but from the start of the chase, his feet are only big enough to fill up like 1 lane.
Yeah,
And then at the
each.
end of the chase, his feet are filling up 4 lanes each way, completely block the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah,
His size, his scale, everything is so awkward, and it feels like you had 100. Okay, actually, this leads me to a good point. Okay, this movie cost. How much do you guys think this movie cost? Top of your head.
I think we talked about this already.
Oh yeah, that probably.
we did. In
Oh,
our,
goddamn,
our
okay.
Yeah.
pre-
Okay, hold on,
pre-
Reggie. How much
conversation.
did you think?
I think I read it was like 130.
125 million, right?
125.
It's
Pretty close.
$125 million budget. They all know it's going to be 90% CG, and this movie looks so fucking cheap,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
is astounding. And, you know, the movie comes out, and it makes money, right? It's like $400 million at the box office. How the fuck does this make $400 million at the box office? Does anybody want to
Probably talk about ads?
Taco Bell? You
That's
led us
right.
astray once again.
Or, a movie was called Godzilla.
Right,
And,
exactly.
let's go see Godzilla. And
Exactly.
We
What?
did not see Godzilla.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what we saw.
Yeah, and
Oh.
just that whole death scene too. Just like 2 sets, 2nd set, 4th set of missiles. Oh, my left side. Oh, my right side. Ugh. Oh my god! Like when they shot the same missiles at the Madison Square Garden, the explosion was much bigger.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
We hit Godzilla. Poof. Poof. That's what it felt like.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, hey, he's bleeding. Oh, I guess I did damage or whatever. And
Yeah.
then he just keels over.
Yeah.
All right, so everyone, I guess that's Godzilla '98. Anybody have final thoughts on the movie, Reggie?
Well,
final thought on it.
so, I mean, I after all this smack we've talked or whatever, I gotta say, I don't think it's a terrible movie.
No, I think
I've
there's
seen
fun.
I've seen way worse. I've seen Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh,
I've seen The Room.
oh,
I've seen
I did not hit her.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've seen Howard the Duck. This is not in that category. This is not in that category of films or whatever. It is. Pretend it's not Godzilla. It's a fine
If you
movie.
just
It's
act
du-
like it's a
fine.
monster movie.
Yeah, it's a dumb 90s movie, enjoyable 90s movie, fun dumb 90s movie, and just like you can just laugh at the stupid jokes or whatever, and just and then enjoy the effective scenes, the few effective scenes there are or whatever. And yeah, I'm just like, oh, okay. Just go with the mindset. It's not Godzilla, it's fine, Otherwise, yeah, you have a good time. Good rainy day movie,
Yeah,
I
I
got
think,
If you got 2 hours, 2 hours and 18 minutes to kill.
yeah, I think if I had to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm not putting it as a 1 because there's honestly worse Godzilla movies out there, like Son of Godzilla, and there's another movie out there that I cannot remember, and I think it's the best. I don't remember it. Like those 2 movies, I consider 1. I think Godzilla '98 might be like a 2, 2.5 at most.
mhm. Oh, you're in the Godzilla canon, you're just like this is really low, but it's not the worst.
Yes, like I said, there's 2 other movies, but it's still not the best. And like Reggie said, just treat it as a monster movie, not a Godzilla movie. You're good.
Miss Boo.
Yeah, it's a 90s movie. It's a 90s action, monster, suspense movie. I mean, I missed chonky Godzilla most of this time, but, I'll just go back and start, all the Godzilla movies. Because after this, I'm like, you know what? I think I need to watch some classic Gojira.
Yes.
I'll even watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure when he
That's
Oh.
crashes the Godzilla set.
There's Godzilla and Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I've been trying to get you to watch that movie for years.
I may have to see that just to see that scene.
Greg needs to complete his Godzilla continuity.
Yeah, because it involves Pee-wee in a sled with Godzilla.
That sounds magical.
It is. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But not a terrible movie. Just
Eh.
What about you?
I'm in the same boat as you. Yeah, I'm Reggie's boat here. It's like I've seen bad movies. I've seen worse movies than this. The only thing I think this movie's cardinal sin is that it's really boring when it's a disaster movie, right? And it's like this is like whatever. It's like a 5 out of 10. I give it like a 2.5 out of 5. It's like so medium. There's scenes in here that work. There's a lot that doesn't work. I think this works really well if you're like a little kid.
Yeah.
Like as a little kid, this is what it's aimed for. Oh, it's big, loud noises and fun, lowbrow humor that's gonna get you through it, right? But yeah, right now, I'm like, nah, this movie kind of sucks. All right, so this Godzilla wouldn't recommend, but what's a Godzilla movie you would recommend to somebody out there who wants to get into Godzilla?
Well, again, somebody who wants to get into Godzilla first time, no frame of reference, no knowledge going in. King Kong versus Godzilla, not Kong versus Godzilla. Godzilla versus Kong, which came out a couple years ago. King Kong versus Godzilla from 1963. It's the OG. Yeah. It is the third movie in the franchise, and it is just a lot of fun. Just exactly
it's mainly
the best
like
of the
a
franchise.
comedy.
Exactly, yeah. It's a comedy, but it works. Unlike this movie,
Yeah. Like if you never heard of Godzilla or anything, I'd honestly say you gotta start with Godzilla, the very first one from 1954. But like you kind of seen it, and it's like, oh, what's another good movie? And get ready for this. It's a tongue twister. Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, giant monsters all out attack.
That's a lot of words.
It is.
Is that one movie?
Yes, it is a movie. Dean, it's the one of Ghost Godzilla.
That's right.
Be impressed. I knew he was going to say that.
There's Ghost Godzilla?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the one who got possessed by the victims of World War II from the Japanese.
Did he seek your revenge?
Yes.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home and watch Godzilla.
Well, everybody, I guess that'll be it. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Where can they find you guys if they wanted to see you?
Oh, well, so Dean mentioned I work at the Frida Cinema as a content editor. If you want to follow me or keep up with what I'm doing, contact me for the reasons. The best way to get a hold of me is Reggie the Writer on Instagram. No caps, just Reggie the Writer, REGGIE, and the Writer. So, yeah.
And for me, I mainly post on Instagram, mainly memes and whatnot. It'll be Agent_Kelly21. And I guess the same with my YouTube channel, which I am trying to branch out with so far.
All right. But Miss Boo, where can they go to listen to more Film Club podcast?
If you want to listen to us on a different platform than you currently are, you can find us on Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
Yep, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Film Vault. That's The Film Vault. On YouTube, we release video versions of our podcasts. And if you wanted to follow us on social media, you can go to
The Film Club Podcast on Instagram, where we post daily stories, upcoming episodes, bonus episodes, trivia, and our daily adventures.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen,
we'll see you next week at the Film Club.
Have a good week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Gojira.
Gojira.
All right.